Hi, folks. How are you? Can you listen to me?
Hello, teacher. Fine. And you?
Okay, that's pretty good. We're not, but we have to be here. Blas, how was your day today?
Can you hear me?
Of course.
Yes, was pretty good so far today.
Such is life,
Nothing,
right?
yeah, nothing out of the extraordinary, but all good.
Yeah. Genesis, what about you?
In my case, it was really tired today.
Andrea, it was okay? It was fine?
Same thing. It was really tiring, but at least it's almost over.
Right. Okay, folks. In this session, we're gonna be short, okay? We're gonna discuss just some strategies for teaching and learning vocabulary. So that will be our topic, how to teach and how to learn vocabulary, okay? And I got some questions for you. So let's return to in time that when you were studying in high school and tell me, how do you learn vocabulary? Blas, when you were studying in high school, how do you learn vocabulary? What was the techniques, the, the learning styles that you used for learning vocabulary?
Uh, when I was studying in high school, the main thing that the teacher was doing um was to write everything down
Yeah,
on the whiteboard, and after that, pronouncing the words in the correct way. And something that I noticed about my classmates, it was that they were like writing on the notebook the way as it is pronounced, because as you know, the way that English is written, it's not the same at the moment
yeah,
to pronounce the words. Um, some of my classmates use that. For example, if the teacher in the vocabulary, the expression was "Hello, my name is," some of my classmates, they used to write down the way it sounded, like "hello" with J-L-E-L-O-U, like that. It is like that. But the teachers, what they were doing was just to write down the words and pronounce it until we get the correct pronunciation of every single word.
yeah.
And after repeated many times, we get that, and that's the way of we also store all the pronunciation and also the grammatically spelling. Um, it was kind of the way that I learned so the proper vocabulary of the language.
That's good. Jacqueline, what about you? How do you learn vocabulary and what do you do to expand your vocabulary, your speech? What do you do to expand it?
Okay. When I was in high school, my teacher wasn't a good teacher because he only taught about writing a paragraph and then translation and make some drawings about parts of the house and something like that. And I began to study English, and in that moment I expand my vocabulary in English, and then listen to music and practice on words to increase my English because in my high school I learned anything.
Yeah, what about you? How do you learn it? What do you do to expand your speech?
It was same thing as Jacqueline. I did learn a lot in high school. I mean, not in the school per se, but when I was like starting in that course, that scholarship that I got, I was
Yeah.
still in high school. But something that I did notice with the teachers in high school is that they use the books a lot. And we had vocabulary boxes, like grammar boxes as well. So
Do you think that that was one of a good strategy to learn vocabulary using books a lot of time in
um
class?
Well, the thing is that the books are something really useful, but I guess that if they would have used it with another components, it would have been better. Like for example, combining it with listening, or maybe with some speaking part. Because at the end, what they did is that they taught us the grammar part with the vocabulary, but we didn't get to speak. So the books are good because I use them a lot when teaching, but I do combine it with listening. I do combine it with essays. So they do everything with the four skills, not only with one.
Good. Alison, what about you, Alison? How do you get it? Can you hear me, Alison? Jorvin, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, what about
What is
you,
the
Jorvin?
question?
So how do you
What
learn
is the question?
vocabulary and what do you do to expand your speech?
Okay, teacher. For example, for the books, read a book every day it is important to expand your vocabulary because we can learn more vocabulary um, and improve your your reading skill. Um, I don't know. This is this is a way of improve your reading skill uh, for read a book.
Good. Jacqueline, do you think that the strategies that your high school teacher were using at that moment were the proper ones?
Sorry, teacher, can you repeat again?
So if you consider that the strategies that your high school teacher were using at that moment were the good ones?
For me, no, because this strategy was very boring for me because we only write and only translate. We don't make pronunciation, and we only identify for example, that the vocabulary using the draw. But if we don't make the draw, how we can know what does that mean of this word? And for me, it wasn't a good strategy because it's boring, it's not interesting, and other things.
Okay. What about you, Genesis? What do you think? Do you agree with her? If you'd agree, tell me which strategy would you use to change that?
And when I was at high school, my teacher teach us many strategy. The teacher, sorry, used many strategy to teach us, but um, to be honest, I don't remember that. I'm sorry, teacher. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Okay, good. Now I'm gonna show you some strategies that can be implemented in the classroom, and tell me if you can recognize some of them or not. But do you think that the vocabulary knowledge can determine the proficiency of the students in speaking? Andrea, what about you? Because it's my understanding that you're teaching English in a communicatively way, right?
Yes.
So do you think that vocabulary knowledge can determine that the student's proficiency in speaking only?
Not only in speaking, and I wouldn't say as a whole unit, but it will be the starting point because, and also depending on the vocabulary, because for example, when we want to start speaking the language, most of the time we will start with collocations.
Yeah.
So I do have like a lot of students that start developing or start learning collocations. So then they can, join the idea. So that way,
Right.
they speak the right way. So maybe they have the vocabulary and they can speak yet, but that's the base point. That's something that I think maybe they don't know how to speak yet, but with the vocabulary they will start developing the speaking skill.
Right. Let's see these strategies. Can you recognize some of them? What about the word wall? So you are familiar with this one or not? Blas, what do you understand by word wall? How can you implement this strategy for teaching or even learning vocabulary in the classroom?
I consider that word wall is like putting in the paper the familiar vocabulary that you are learning at the moment in the wall with could be with a paper and with a tape in order to have it. So every time you come in the classroom, you will see the word of the way you will be able to remember the pronunciation, what it means, and the reason of being there. Let's say if in the door you just place a little paper that says "Welcome to my house," you will remember how it is pronounced, also how it is written, and also what it means, what you are trying to say to all the people that get into your house. That is for me this that it says word wall, this technique. Also, it is really functional. I think that it really works because I have seen some people applying it and they learned a lot.
Okay, very good. Jacqueline, do you agree with him, or have you ever used this one or have you ever seen this strategy when you were learning English in the classrooms?
In
So
my opinion,
yeah,
teacher, this strategy is something new for me, and sincerely, I never seen this strategy.
how many
So
of you?
I
Yeah, continue.
or I can see it, but I don't remember if it is the way.
Okay, how many of you have seen a large visible space in the classroom where the teacher collocates many words and using letter? For example, we have the column A with the letter L. So we have a lot of words just with the letter L. So how many of you have seen this?
I did it in high school and also in some academies. In academies, it's really like it's most common to see this type of things in order to accustom the brain to remember what you are learning in the moment. Also, the word well, it's very very used in academics, in English academics.
Okay, good. What about you, Andrea? You are an English teacher. Have you ever used this or have you ever seen before?
In word walls, I have never. I mean, I have seen them, but I have never used them. And when I was in Lincoln, what they do is you will see like every corner of the walls,
Yeah.
and they will be with a lot of things. For example, as you're saying, with the letters, they even have like the whole alphabet sticking into the walls. They have the days of the week, the months of the year, and everything. And I mean, since we don't own the school, we can't do that. But what I do, it's the word cards, like the flashcards that we prepare for class.
Yeah.
We also have some vocabulary notebooks, and we use the books. But yes, I use most of them, but I'm not sure about the word books.
More useful, right? Flashcards.
Yeah, the word cards, they're really useful. And I mean, that way we learn vocabulary, but at the same time, I use it for some communicative stuff. Like, for example, once they learn the vocabulary, we have some activities for them to speak.
Okay, very good. What about this one, folks? Word box. So what do you understand for this? So do you imagine that teacher can use a box and inside of the box with a lot of piece of paper with words?
I think that this is, for example, when we use a dice and we put some vocabulary using the dice, and the student can memorize the word. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember that if it is related with that activity that Andrea used when you were studying, let's see, methodology 1, after pedagogy? That Andrea, do you remember that you were using some like cards and you have
Yeah.
the keyword, and after you have some synonyms and they have to figure out what word is?
Yes, I remember. That was like the game's called Taboo. You're not supposed to say the word nor the clues that you have.
Yeah, because you were introducing the context, you were explaining, but without saying the word, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is similar to the word box. So the functions are the same one, but in this case, we use a small box where you can put all those cards and the student have to choose one, right? And then to explain the same, as you said, to the other team. Let's see the word cards. Who can tell me, what do you understand by word cards?
The workshop can
Yeah.
be like flashcards.
Yeah. What's the purpose? You as a student, what do you think is the purpose when a teacher use word cards? They are recommendable for introducing new topic, or they are recommendable to improve pronunciation, or do you think that they are recommendable to improve retention? What do you think?
Based on my experience as a student, what I have seen is that word cards have been implemented in order to describe what does the word means or how the word can be used in a sentence. In order to get familiar with the vocabulary, could be something related to guess what the word means in order to understand how you can use it in a sentence or in the spoken daily.
Okay, good. What about the last one? Vocabulary notebooks.
That's
In,
something
in
that
my
I use
case,
the
folks,
most.
let me tell you something. In my case, I don't like to use this because I think that it's too boring. It's crazy to use this, but at a certain point can be useful, right? I have seen many teacher use of this one. I remember many years ago when I was working in a tech, some of the teacher were asking to the student use of vocabulary notebooks, and they said, okay, to pass the first level here in a special notebook that is gonna be just for vocabulary, you will take note about those words that are near for you, and every week you will tell me those words by heart. It sounds crazy, because at the end he was asking for 1,500 words for passing the first level. What do you think?
Actually, we did something like that like a year ago here at the
Yeah.
university, and I think it was I don't remember the class, but I think it was drama. I don't know. But I mean, he didn't ask for any specific kind of any specific amount of vocabulary words.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was kind of crazy because we were checking, and I mean, it's not that we're all perfect or that we all are all knowing, but
Right.
there were like a lot of things that we already knew, and maybe for that lesson for that day, we didn't have any vocabulary word, and he was expecting us to have it. So
Yeah,
that was a
at the end, it's gonna be hard to learn by heart those words, but some of them.
For me, it can really work in the class of that we are seeing with you, the didactics, or this one, the new one. How it is? Okay, the another class that we have with you, or the one from 1 p.m. to 3, because there are many words that are well, the topics for me were really new. Now I know them, I know what they are about, but at the beginning it was kind of complicated because besides not having good reading comprehension, because we don't like to read, there were new words, and for me it really worked. It really works when it comes to these vocabulary notebooks, because it is the way that I learned. I really prefer to do it in this way, and not by like listening. For example, there are people that say that just listening that they get to understand and they get to speak fluent. For
Yeah.
me, I really find that really hard to do it. But if people are able to develop that type of skill, it's really great. But for me, I have to see the word, and at least I need to have the concept for English in order to understand what to do with the word in the English at the moment to speak.
Okay, good. Let's move on to the last one. And I would like to listen to those who hasn't spoken today. Let's see, this one, it's called semantic, right? Semantic mind mapping. But my question is, why is called semantic? What do you understand by semantic? This is another strategy, folks, semantic mapping. But what's the purpose of semantic? Genesis, what do you understand by semantics?
And the different topics that you teach, maybe?
How so?
What?
I don't understand you. When you say the different topics of sortation, no, that's not semantic. You know
Okay.
that semantic is one of the branch of linguistics, right? let's see who are connected. Alison, what do you understand by semantic? This strategy is called semantic mapping. You know that we have a non-linguistic representation, okay? So in this case, I'm using a map. So, but why is semantic? You don't remember that part? We were studying in previous courses.
It could be the meaning of the word, maybe.
Yeah, that's the objective of semantic, right? They are focused on the study of the meaning, right? Of the meaning of the word. So that's why that, as you can see, as you can appreciate there, we are talking about transportation, but when we have transportation, when we talk about transportation, you know that we have different types of transportation. That's why that in this non-linguistic representation are divided, right? In each type. We have the water transportation. Now we can understand that ship is working just for that, right? That's why that we called to this strategy semantic map, okay? Have you got any questions so far? No one's? Okay, folks, if you don't have any question, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna finish here this session. But let me tell you that on the platform, you will find a task, okay, that will be graded. Please do it on time, okay, because remember that we are almost to finish this course. And if you have any doubts or something that you don't understand about the task, the homework, let me know in WhatsApp group, okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you,
Okay,
teacher.
folks, goodbye.
Bye, good night.
Have the
Bye,
same for
teacher.
you.
Good night. God
The
bless
same
you.
for you.